Hi, everybody. It's Wednesday, September 15th. Nice to see you folks again. Thank you for joining. We have an agenda and you have access to that agenda, so feel free to read along. We have some announcements and there are a bunch of other things that we need to talk about. So if you remember, we're doing Campus Zooms only twice a month, not every Wednesday. It's going to be the first and third Wednesdays. So the next meeting is October 6th, same time on Wednesdays, but only the first and third. Carol, do you want to tell us about Kaya Ulu webinar that's coming up tomorrow?
Yes, I will. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I just want to let you know that tomorrow evening, starting at 5:30, there is a Kaya Ulu webinar. It's about Kalaupapa place names. This is going to feature John Clark, who is the author of that book, as well as 10 other lovely books that talk about surf topics and places and the Jiso of Hawaii and so forth. But this book, he focuses in on different places on the peninsula of Kalaupapa. And then he also brings out a lot of stories about the people who live there. It's going to be a wonderful presentation. And Ivalani Koide is going to be the person who is facilitating the discussion with John Clark. I hope you can join us. And I will put the link in the chat box. And while I have the mic, very quickly, I will mention to you that we are also doing a webinar on September 30th called Back in the Day, 1946 Facts and Throwback. And that presentation is going to also be very good. We've got a wonderful turnout so far. It will be the same link. I'll put that in. It's the same thing also. I'll put that in the chat. Thank you.
Thanks, Carol. Okay, wait, I gotta keep finding, where is it? The other announcement is, I'll go down to the bottom actually, so we can do all the announcements together and then we can get into some conversations. So virtual career fair. Who would like to give us some insight into what's happening September 9th to October 1st?
Hi, Luis. I'll do it. So that's my event. I'm Sue from the Employment Prep Center. And this is an event that I'm co-hosting with the other 6 community colleges across the state, as well as DLIR and American Job Center of Hawaii. So we have 8 events total. We have workshops, a competition, we have a mixer for students, as well as a keynote speaker and the information sessions that organizations will provide on September 30th. In the chat box, I'll put in the link to our website where you can learn more about every event as well as to register. And we've already sent this out to students, but just so that you guys know, faculty and staff administrators are welcome to attend. Public is welcome to attend. So we encourage you guys to attend if you want to meet some organizations, do a little bit of networking, as well as attend our workshops. So I appreciate you sharing this out.
Sue, is there going to be some more information about the structure of the event so that people can, if they want to see one of it, but not all of it, is there going to be a timeline and links and stuff like that?
Yes, in the website. I'll share that in the chat box.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Questions for Sue?
This is Carol Hoshko. I know that the Oahu Back to Work people want to get in touch with you. Have they done that yet?
Yes, they have, and they've already promoted it to all of the Oahu Back to Work students.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Thanks. Sheldon, virtual open house.
Yes. So here's an opportunity to show off KCC worldwide. So here we go. There's the link to check out what we have in place at the moment. There's still time. If you wanted to present, you're more than welcome to check out the link, see how it's formatted, email myself or Alfie if you're interested. I also want to share a super cool video that is that was created by Lisa, promoting the event. Share with your colleagues, share with anyone in the community. This is our opportunity to really highlight Kapi'olani. October 22nd from 9 to noon. We're going to highlight our academic programs. On the October 29th from 9 to noon, we're going to highlight our support programs. Free, open to the public. I've already alerted the Honda International Center. Hopefully they're going to send it to their partners out there. And so this is just another way to put Kapi'olani out there. So we're excited. We're nervous, but we're excited. And so check out the links. Yeah, this is our first ever. I mean, we have a lot of very willing participants. But just to give a heads up, I mean, this is just a taste of Kapi'olani, like, and so you're going to see just 15-minute breakouts. And so this is just an opportunity for folks to just kind of shop around. And if they want to maybe go in depth in a particular program, we're going to route them either to their information sessions or give them their direct contact information. But here we go. So feel free to share.
Okay, you're doing this live, of course, right? Nothing like
It's all-
jumping off the cliff.
It's all live.
Boy. Okay. Thanks, Sheldon.
Yep, thank you.
The last campus announcement on the agenda is the making of Kavahena Kayo next week, Wednesday after 2 o'clock, 2 to 4:30. And the link there is in the agenda. So it's a little bit about the background of how that protocol handbook came to be. And Drew Broderick will be facilitating, and panelists will be Nava'a, Kapulani, and me, I believe. So that's a lot of things that you can be watching for reasons other than meetings and committees and stuff like that. So you got lots of opportunities between a career fair and a virtual tour and Kavahena. You have all kinds of opportunities to be enlightened in different ways rather than just the regular kind work. Okay, back to more substantive updates. I did get a request, and I shared this with CAC members yesterday. So if you were there, then this is the second time you hear this. ACCJC regularly asks the institutions in its geographic area to submit the names of individuals who might be invited to serve on comprehensive visit teams. Now, in the past, the team visits were always on the campus, and our geographic area is California, Hawaii, and the Western Pacific. Of course, because of the pandemic, the most recent visits have been virtual. So it's not, you don't get a chance to travel and see somebody else's campus. But the process of taking part in comprehensive visits is truly a professional development opportunity. You get to work with professionals in your discipline areas and across discipline areas from multiple institutions. And I'm going to ask anybody who's on the Zoom to chime in and say what their experiences were. But the reason why I'm sharing it with you is that they have called out again for names of individuals. And so there is an ongoing list of people who have been nominated or self-nominated to be on teams. And I have to update it every year because people retire. So I have to scratch Sally. Sorry, Sally can no longer be a member of a team because she's retired. So I got to update it. And it's an opportunity to invite others who, considering what they have experienced on this campus, may want to serve on a team. So I'm going to be asking any of you who feel you would like to provide this service to ACCJC to email me, and I'll send you the form and you can submit your name. It doesn't mean you're going to get asked, because people can be on the list for a while and not ever be asked. But it does mean that you will be on the roster and people can turn to you for fall and spring visits. So I see Sunny, and I think Sunny, you're like on a visit right now, and Susan and Lisa, and I'm not sure because I can't see everybody. But if you've been on a visit and would like to just give a couple of sentences about what the experience has been like, so maybe others can think about whether they could do that. Anybody want to go?
Well, I'll hop in, and I'm sure others will have things to add. It's a really rewarding experience to be working with faculty from all over the place. This time I'm working with people from Guam and Micronesia and California. It's a really rewarding kind of experience to share ideas. And it's always good to, have an awareness of what's happening with the standards and how they're being enforced. I do like to also keep track of how things are changing with ACCJC. I understand, I was just talking to somebody who's going to be signing up for one next year, and their process has changed. They're going to be doing their training one semester before the actual visit. So, and they've already made some changes on their process. So for those who sign up for the next opportunity, I think it's going to be really interesting. I think I'm still more in the old school bracket where we're still doing the more traditional process.
Yeah, things
If
are going to change very, very significantly.
Yes.
in the
And if
process.
anybody has any questions, feel free to email me. I'd be happy to talk to you, email you, or talk with you about it.
Thanks, Sunny. Anyone else want to share experience? And go, Susan.
Sure. I mean, it was, like Sunny said, the most rewarding experience. You come back with so much knowledge about how other campuses do other things. You always come back and learn. You can bring that back and then share that experience with others to improve maybe some of the things that we do, or you can kind of brag about some of the things that we are, and you can say, hey, KCC already has done this and you guys are only trying it out for now, so there were 100, maybe 13 California institutions, and then I think 7 to 9 Pacific Island institutions. Vern and I went off to Guam a couple of years ago, and we did a visit back then, and so learned a lot, got to be really close with the team. I know Brian just went last year. As Sunny had said, if anybody has any questions, we know how it was done, old school, and I have like copious notes of how we had, what we interviewed with and what we did, and the way you go about a visit. But it was one of the best rewarding, hardest working experiences you ever had. I know Louise was saying she was a gopher in the beginning, or you did something as like a team assistant, and it's a lot of learning back then too, right? But please volunteer. They always need people. They always need like Brian's and instructors and librarians and counselors or academic advisors. But faculty, I know it's really hard for you to take off that time too, but they always need faculty. Please consider volunteering.
Thank you. My first experiences was, as Susan points out, I was a gopher. So every team has a chair, and the team chair typically has an assistant that does a lot of the logistics, like running around and changing appointments and finding rooms and all of that other kind of stuff. So that was my first experience. I was a gopher for 2 visits, and then I got to be on as a team member. And it is a very intense experience because it's compressed into 2.5 days of very deliberate conversations about an institution and where it sees itself and how it aligns with the standards. So it is deep learning, very compressed. A lot of prep work, a lot of reading, of course. You have to read the whole document, but it is, it's over. Once you leave the place, your work is pretty much done. But those few, maybe it's 2 months. You get the self-study 6 weeks before. That is intense.
I'll have to add that it's a very collegial experience. I just got off the phone with somebody yesterday who's considering going as a librarian for a team, and she said her first experience, she's only had one, but her first experience was so rewarding, and she is really looking forward to doing it again. So yes, it's a lot of work, but you learn so much, and you get to know a lot of, really interesting people. So it's very rewarding in many ways.
Agreed. Any other thoughts from anyone?
Maybe we could add the link to the agenda.
No link for now.
Okay.
Just submit send me an email, say letting me know that you'd like to put your name in, and then I'll make sure I get you the stuff. I just need to know names for now. Okay, back to the agenda. Okay. STAR report. So you guys probably know this already, but it was news when I wrote it down there earlier or late last week. So instructional faculty have access to a roster that indicates whether the students in their classes have been cleared. This is for faculty who are teaching hybrid or face-to-face classes. They can see in the STAR support app whether students have a check mark or not. That is, that check mark indicates either that they are vaccinated or that they are compliant with the timing of their negative test results. What I was told, I guess it was Friday last week, was that there is now an option that the faculty member can choose to have an email message sent to her or him the night before class, indicating that there's any non-compliant student. Now, I cannot access any of this information because I don't teach and I don't have a CRN. Is there a faculty member on the Zoom who could tell us how that works? I'm really curious. Or if it works? Anyone? Anybody try it? Okay, guess not. Does anybody know about it?
Hi, Louise. Can you hear me? This is Dave Stevens.
Hi, Dave.
Hi. Yeah, I did try it. And if you give me a couple minutes, I'll log in and I'll show you. I could show you my screen that shows one of my classes.
Did you try the email notification?
I haven't tried that feature yet, no. I could
Okay.
see which students are compliant and non, because I have one class that was supposed to go face-to-face, but at the last minute was changed. And so it's one of those C19 designations, but they still
Right.
report which students are or not. And you get the little green check mark.
Right, right. I think we've seen that one before. I was just wondering about how does the faculty, where is it that the faculty can choose the option to get an email notice?
It's the first I've heard about it. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, see, that's why I was hoping somebody had done it, because I heard this last week. Maybe it isn't.
Well, I'll log in and take a look, and
Okay,
if I can find it, I'll show you.
okay, that'd be great. Appreciate that, Dave.
It might
Okay.
take me a couple minutes. I'll get back with you.
Sorry, we're not going to just sit here looking at each other waiting for you.
Okay, good.
When there's the next break in the action, you'll be ready, I know. Okay, moving through the agenda. Now the campus questions. The first question is about it's affectionately known as PIG on tenure, which is the Permitted Interaction Group of the Board of Regents. So those of you who are faculty are well aware that there has been a proposal to change faculty classification, which has implications for tenure. This notification or this movement is a result of legislative questions about tenure, the value of tenure. This came from the ledge. So picking up on the legislative questions, or the legislators' questions, it was not a legislated manner, it was from the legislators who questioned the whole higher ed tenure thing. The Board of Regents created a task force. It was a permitted information group, which is not subject to sunshine laws, that kind of thing, so that their conversations were minutes of which were not distributed, sort of thing. And there were regents on that. There were administrators on that, in that group, and there was Christian Fern, who represented UPA on that group. They had deliberations for some weeks, and they have recently put forward their report of their deliberations and their recommendations, and attached proposed changes to some of the board policies. The extent of the changes are in the classification of faculty, conflating many of the categories, as well as indications of tenure, considerations for which faculty get tenure and which ones don't. It's a very drastic change. And the question that is in the agenda is whether the Chancellor, the VCAA, the VCSA, or other executives will be submitting testimony. This is going to be coming to the board at the October 21 meeting. And the question is whether we'll be submitting testimony. Our positions at the institution make that difficult, let's say. But what I would say is I would encourage the faculty to submit testimony to the board, indicating their concerns, indicating the degree to which this impacts community college differentially. So there is a format for the board, for the testimony. Please talk to your UPA rep in your department. Make sure you get your information correct when you submit your testimony. Make sure you are quoting the documents correctly, and make sure that you put your testimony in for the October 21. You can submit written testimony, and you can elect to present the testimony orally at the board meeting. You will have 3 minutes to present at the board meeting. Questions? Okay, hearing none. Dave?
Yeah, let me share my screen with you.
I think you can. Let me check.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
can.
it looks like I can. Just got to find the right window. There we go. You probably are looking at that now. Here is one of my classes down here, my Python class, and you can see all the green checks on the right-hand side for all the people that actually comply. If your class is all online and you don't have this kind of notification, this is what you see. Just
Right.
a bunch of blanks, right? In the upper right-hand corner, if you can see over here, this little settings cog, you click that, and this is where you can turn on and off the email alerts over here.
Cool.
And it's not a feature-rich application by any means.
You got one thing, not too many decisions to make about on or off.
No, that's right, not feature-rich. But
No.
if anyone has any questions, please email me. I can walk you through it. I've been using this feature.
Yeah. So if you've been using the feature, Dave, what is the notification that you get?
Just a straight email about I haven't dug one up yet.
Okay.
Probably junked them. But next time I get one, I can demonstrate that next time we're on the meeting now.
That would be good, because I'd like to know what it looks like. I can't ever access that. And so it would be, does it preclude you from checking yourself every day? Is it like a push notification that says John Smith is non-compliant?
Yeah, as I remember, it's just a list of students, and you get that notification like 24 hours before your class is scheduled to actually meet, right?
Right.
So when I get that, I could send it out.
I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks very much. Okay, the next question in the questions, not to be redundant, of course, is about the January 2022. I can't speak, it's been proven. January 2022, there will be new policy in place that will, my understanding and all indications are such, that vaccination will be mandatory, that exemptions will be made only for religious or medical reasons. That policy has not been disseminated yet, it's not been finalized yet, but that is my understanding of what it will mean. So individuals, that is students and employees who require exemption for medical or religious reasons will need to put in a request to be exempt. The request has need for documentation in the religious case as well as in the medical case, and those who are approved will not need to be vaccinated, but they will need to continue to be tested regularly. I believe the university is going to okay the PCR test, which is a 7-day period, and antigen test, which is a 3-day period. At this point, I've heard different things, so I can't say what it will be about whether individuals who need to be tested, whether they will pay themselves for the test. So it may differ. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I don't want to say for sure, but there are questions about who's going to pay for the test, which could be substantial if you're being tested once a week, and it could be, $75 to $150 a test. That's significant. But unvaccinated people and those who do not have religious or medical exemptions will not be allowed on the campus at the university. Questions? Okay, I hear no questions. I don't see anything in the chat.
Actually, Louise, could I say something that's kind of tangential to what you're saying?
Of course.
Thank you. We've heard recently that, this with the C19 courses and the need for in-person courses for our VA funded students, we've heard from VA that they expect the waiver of the in-person course requirement to end in December of 2021. Right. So this means that our student veterans will need in-person classes beginning in spring 2022. I just wanted to kind of put that out there along with the vaccination information and kind of what's happening beginning spring of 2022. Thank you.
Yeah, so they're going to need to take at least, right, Terry, they have to take at least one on-ground class.
That's correct. Okay. Or in the case of maybe culinary arts or IT majors, 2 back-to-back, if they're in modular, back-to-back right. In-person courses.
Right. Yeah. Other questions about anything? Any comments, announcements, anything you want to share generally with your colleagues right now?
I would like to share something. This is Roman.
Oh, yes, please. Go.
Hi, everyone. My name is Roman Sabachi. For those who don't know, I'm the co-vice chair of recognition and community building for Staff Council. So I wanted to share that.
You were going to say Vice Chancellor.
Oh, did I?
No. Vice Chancellor.
Vice co-chair. Vice co-chair of recognition and community building Staff Council. We are going to start a walking group that will go on Wednesdays and Fridays from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. So if you are on campus, feel free to, and you don't have to be staff, you can join as faculty as well if you just want to walk with us. So Wednesdays, it'll be Wednesdays, every Friday, as long as it's not a holiday, from 12 to 1 p.m. And we're going to meet at the Great Lawn. You don't have to walk the whole time. You can come for 15 minutes if you want, whatever you will get out of it. So feel free to join, and we may change times in the future. We'll just kind of see how it goes because this is our first time doing it this semester. So Wednesdays, Fridays, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Meet at the Great Lawn.
Thank you.
Oh, I do have one more. So
Okay.
I'm also the advisor for the Board of Student Activities. So BOSA is having their first event this semester, and it will be an in-person event. So if you just want to come by and just see, it'll be this Friday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. So it's meant for students to get to know each other, and they're going to play some games. And of course, it's all social distance. We'll check everything, and they sign in. So if you just want to see live students on campus, if you never see them, then feel free to interact with them as well. So, you know, it's good for them to know their staff and faculty on campus outside of the classroom. So again, this Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. on the Great Lawn. See you then.
I'll
Louise,
make sure. Hello, go Maria.
I have a question for Terry.
Mm-hmm.
Terry, so you don't need the C19 code anymore for scheduling of classes in spring?
That's an interesting question because things could change between now and December 21st. But VA has started to alert people to the likelihood that the in-person course will be required starting in terms after December 21st. So if that's true, then I don't believe so. But a lot, you know, it's very fluid.
So to be on the safe side,
I'm thinking the same thing.
we use the C19 code.
I think so, Maria, because we don't know, right? And
Yeah.
is there anyone else who uses or needs to have access to C19 besides the veterans?
I think they were the only ones that we were using. Yeah.
Well, right now it's also a good measure for planning to see, oh, these always used to be face-to-face and now, and so that when we are going to be going, increasing the number of face-to-face classes, we'll be able to follow like before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and we will know which ones switch back and forth. So I think for
Also-
spring, it's safe to keep it. I'm sorry, so I interrupted someone.
Sorry, also Pearl over at IRAO would like us to please continue the C19 because they are creating all sorts of reports on that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and Jerry said in person or hybrid, do not use C19. So only the online, totally online.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Tony put a note in the chat about whether C19 is helpful for international students. I'll defer to anyone from HIC if they're on. I'm not sure that it made much of a difference, but I could be wrong. I'll defer. So we keep it for spring. Haven't heard any updates about CVIS and whether CVIS is going to change the rules or not. I'll have to ask HIC. Maybe I'll ask them to come on the end of September. Oh no, October campus Zoom. Any other questions, things on your mind?
Louise, I have a question for Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
I've had an inquiry from one of the contractors working for WIOA, Workforce Investment Opportunity Act. Do we at the campus keep track of any students who might come and register for credit classes who use the Workforce Investment Opportunity Act funding? Do we keep that record in our registration database? Jerry?
Me, Jerry, sorry. Carol, I'm not sure. Is that payment? Is that a payment?
It's a payment from the WIOA funding.
Cashiers would have that, no?
Cashiers might have that information. If it's a for third party.
Okay, third party.
The cashiers on no spot, but I wouldn't know that information. I'm so
You wouldn't know it. Okay.
yeah. But if it's a payment thing and it's through cashiers, they might have some kind of record.
Okay. Is there
Check
anybody
with,
else?
check with Cynthia.
Cynthia. All right. Thank you.
Anything else, you guys? Okay, I don't hear any other thoughts, concerns, announcements, sharing. Guess it's time to say goodbye till October. Makes me sad. All right, then I will see you again at the next meeting, which is October, I already said it and now I can't remember, October 6th. Take care of yourself. Do the things that bring you joy. Find those things that give you energy. Be kind to yourself and to others. See you guys next time, October 6th. Unmute and say goodbye.
Bye.
Mahalo.
Bye.
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 Aloha. Next time.